This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Deshaun Highler. Deshaun, how's it going?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Let's just go back in time a little bit. What's your first memory of just playing basketball?
My first memory playing basketball is my first game, like my first game, like on an actual team, for my Parks and Rec team at Bobby Bonds. We had a game at Reed Park, and it was a lot of fun. I scored a lot of points, and it was just like a great start to like what's been the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, for sure. And what about, was there like a moment when you knew you were like a little better than the other players?
Yeah, it was that day. Yeah.
The first day.
Yeah, it was the first. It was my first game. You know, because like up until that point, I had just been like playing like at the park. You know, shooting with my mom, just doing like, you know, watching on TV and going outside and trying to do the same thing. You know, I had like played against like my older cousin, but she was a lot bigger than me, so she would just block all my shots. You know what I mean? So like, it wasn't like a real gauge of like how good I really was. And then like the first time that I actually got to play out there with like 5-on-5 with kids my age, I was going crazy. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy that you knew that young, but it makes sense. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like when you said all that. Yeah, and then just going into your high school career, I know you had a great one. I think you won a few state championships.
We won a CIF regional championship.
Okay.
Which is a big deal in California. Yeah. And we got to the state regional championship in the state tournament in the same year. And that was all my senior year. And that was the best year, but yeah, we won the regional Southern section.
Yeah. So like I told you before, I'm in Connecticut, so like we just have like the regional one. That's not even a thing out here. It's just like the state tournament. Obviously, California is way bigger. And then what about like, I know like on the show you mentioned you went to UTEP. Like, what was your recruiting process like? I know I think you said you had a few different like non D1 offers.
Yeah, so it was a lot of NAIs and D2s that were interested in me, and I have nothing against like those levels, but like those were always kind of like a last resort for me, because like those were like, I always knew that I could go there if my like clock ran out with going to Division I. So like my thing wasn't that like I was super opposed to like going to a lower level school, because there's a lot of talent there, and there's a lot of opportunity there. But I was just always going to give myself every chance to go D1 before I took that route, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then I know you walked on at UTEP. What was it just like to walk on in redshirt the same year?
It was, so my freshman year, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, but being the walk-on part, and dealing with you know, everything that comes with just starting from literally the bottom, like that's literally the bottom, especially at a school like UTEP. You know, walk-ons weren't, we didn't, none of us got a lot of opportunities. So after a little bit of, you know, a couple months of practice, the coaches had gotten an idea of kind of what I could do. And they talked to me and were like, okay, well, we want to redshirt you this year and give you a scholarship for next year. Because it would be basically just like bringing in another freshman. And I was like, okay, cool. That's exactly what I can. That's exactly what I wanted. And so learning that and getting the confidence through that, like that I actually started that low and was able to like work my way up, was a great experience for sure. Taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah. And then like, tell me how you got, you ended up at East Los Angeles from.
Yeah. So it was pretty quick. Like I called I call my travel ball coach, who's like basically like my mentor, Marvin Lee, and he was just basically like, do you want to go to a national JUCO or do you want to go to ELAC? And my mom was was really sick at the time, so it was kind of like an easy decision just to come home.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, during like Last Chance U, I believe so. It was your second season while they were filming. So what was the first season like there? Like, what was your first impression of like coaches and things like that?
I could tell that it was really a family, and that like I was gonna be good there because like I got there in like late July, like August or so was like my first workouts, and my mom passed in October, like a few months later. So it was pretty quick that I kind of found out like how either they cared about me or they didn't, and I found out that they really, really did. So like from the get-go, like the connection with the coaches was there. Our first season, we didn't have the same chemistry on the team as we did at the second season.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good season. We won a lot of games. We just should have done more than what we did in the postseason.
Yeah, for sure. And just going into Last Chance U, what were your like? When did you find out that like they were gonna start filming, and what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so like going into the second year, that summer, it was like August, I think, or late July. It was around the same time, and I was up there I wasn't even supposed to be up there that day, but I had gone up there just to work out with Frankie, one of our coaches that used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Frankie, by the way. And I'm done with the workout. I'm walking back to my car, and Coach Mosley stops me. He's like, hey, let me talk to you real quick. I'm like, what's up? He's like, you ever watch Last Chance U? And like right when he said that, I was like, no way, like what? And I was like, yeah, I watched Last Chance U. He's like, well, they want to come film us and yada yada. And he'll tell you like he didn't know about it. He didn't like know really if he wanted to do it at first.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his reasons why. And I was just like, nah, like you got to do this. Like I don't think this is one you can really turn down, coach. Like, and yeah, I didn't hear anything about it actually after that day, all the way up until like our first like official practice, when like the college season officially starts, whatever. And the cameras were there, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like this is like it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, and then what was it like? Just cameras following you around like pretty much all the time.
It was fun. Like every day felt like a movie. Like not like we were acting or anything, but like just like every day felt like we were just on TV. Like
mm-hmm.
Every day felt like its own episode, basically. Especially dealing with Coach Mosley. Like every day felt like its own separate episode for sure. It was a lot of fun though. It brought us together. It didn't split us apart at all. It just made our chemistry, like it just made us that much more closer. Just to have that bond, and to know that we were gonna be able to like all our stories were gonna be out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like did you watch it yourself?
Yeah, we watched it. I think we watched it like every day for like 2 weeks, like the first time it came out, like at least one episode, but like we binged it like for like the first like 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's like back to back.
What were your thoughts on it?
I loved it. I mean, it showed, that's exactly how the year was. I mean, it was great. It was amazing. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, it was over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It was real. Yeah, so it was real. You know what I mean? It's like exactly how you feel watching it as an audience is exactly how we felt playing.
Yeah.
Time probably 100, but
Yeah. Yeah.
same.
That's why it was crazy too, because just me watching it, I knew like it was gonna come, but I just didn't. It never showed any of the dates, so I was just like, "What time period is this?" And then it just happened, and it was exactly like everyone. That's why it was crazy too, because I remember just like all the bigger schools closing down, and you guys were they didn't close you down, and then so that I don't know, it was just crazy. And then on the bus, you guys were about to go to the tournament, right?
Yeah. Well, so if you notice, like in the show, like in the episode, I'm not actually on the bus. I had went to my car. I forgot my bag. And by the time I got to the bus, nobody was on the bus. I thought I was like first. I was like, oh shit, like damn, I'm early. For once. And and the bus driver's like, hey man, like tournament's canceled. I was like, he was like, yeah, everybody's in the locker room. I was like, wow. But I wanted to say, like, yeah, shout out to the crew though. You said like the way you didn't really, you had to like, you were wondering like, dang, like what's gonna happen, this and that. Like the crew did such an amazing job, like with just how they put everything together and the material that they like they're geniuses, like Terry, Claire, Daniel, all those guys, all of them, like they're just an amazing crew.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think is like kind of most amazing that people don't really think about is like you guys aren't actors or and probably never really been in a documentary or anything, and it's just like how like yeah, that's like how did you like feel comfortable like talking to them about like your whole life basically?
Yeah, no, they're amazing people. So like off the court or like off the set, you know what I mean? Like it was like like we would talk about everything, you know what I mean? Like they would talk about their lives, we would talk about our lives and you know what we were gonna do that day, where we wanted to eat, this and that. Like it was that was a special part of it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of it for sure. Because those are people that we still talk to, you know, like we all you know, have each other on social media and this and that. So it's
that's awesome. And then just tell me about like just I mean, obviously Last Chance U series just keeps on growing and growing, but like what has it been like for you? Just like social media. I know you've been on like big platforms like Complex now, NBA players shouting you out. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been dope. It's been dope, especially to like have guys like Isaiah Thomas like connect with me, like with you know, chat it up, like those are people who I've looked up to like for years. So that part's been dope. To have the following that we do now is crazy, but it's really cool because you know we did it, you know, the right way. Like we're not famous for the wrong reasons. There's nobody coming up to me like asking me to like do a dance or anything, you know what I mean? Like it's just we just got famous like doing our, you know, being ourselves. So that's the coolest part about that. But other than that, like, you know, life is pretty much the same. Like the grind is the same because it's not like, you know, we're where we're trying to be. Like it's not like we've gotten to our end goal yet. So you know, the game is a game. We're just trying to get to the next level at this point. Still grinding. So all that's the same.
Yeah, definitely. Now tell me how you got to Sacramento State. What was your second recruiting process or third recruiting process? Like, I guess it would be.
Yeah. So, when the season got cut, it was all of recruiting was up in the air. Like I was, you know, especially already being on the fence, like as a guard, you don't really, I didn't really feel personally like I had time to waste in the recruiting process. And they, you know, Coach Katz and the whole staff just expressed, you know, a great interest in my game and in me as a person. So, you know, that kind of made it easy to just to wrap it up quick and commit to Sac State.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then how was your season overall? I know obviously it was still Corona, so it was probably just a weird traveling and all that.
Yes, yeah. So it was, there was a lot of ups and downs, but it was good for me. I learned, you know, a lot going into my first D1 games. Just learned about, you know, this level of play. learning what I need to work on, and getting ready for next season. I'm expecting to have a really good season.
Yeah, sure. So what do you have 1 year left, right?
Well, I have 2 now.
Corona.
Yeah, we're getting this Corona year, so I'm, basically a junior again. It's like I have like 9 lives with this basketball thing, man. Now it's kind of crazy, but like it's almost, just feels like it's meant to be, at this point. Like I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do to get to where I'm trying to go. So, and the clock keeps ticking. So,
yeah, for sure. I saw someone. There's Harvard University here in Connecticut. I think he has an eligibility now of his 7th year because he had like 2. I think he had a medical and a red shirt, a regular red shirt. It's great. So it's crazy. But yeah, let's just get into some like more fun questions. Like, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to play video games. I take care of my schoolwork. I like to trade stocks, cryptocurrency. I like to dabble in that a little bit. NBA Top Shot, little things like that, little ways, a little flipping, little money. I like to, I hang out with Kiera. We do things. We watch movies, watch shows, work out together, and just be chilling. But other than that, like I'm pretty much a homebody. Like I chill, I hang out, I go to practice, come back, do the same thing.
I got you. Yeah, I saw on your story the other day that about like the cryptocurrency and the stocks. And so how'd you get into all that? And then what do you think about NBA Top Shot?
I just kind of got into it. Over time, starting to be a lot, on my own. Just, like you find different ways of getting extra money here and there. And it's fun to me, honestly. So when I figured out kind of that I understood what was going on, because I never thought I would be like into like investing or trading or anything like that, right? But like it was introduced to me through a friend of mine, and I was reading up on it, and I was realizing like, oh, like I actually understand this stuff. Like I think I can actually do this a little bit. So once that happened, it was kind of like it just kind of went from there. And I'm still in it today. I've been doing it for like 2 years now. But Top Shot is cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see like how the value holds up over time though, because like it's like a really hype product, right now. So like, so we'll see if the shock value goes down. But I think it's a dope concept. I think the concept of NFTs is, what they say, NFTs are the future or whatever. But I think it really is. I think the idea of like a virtual art room is like really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you say that too, because like I know like we're still early in it, because like I text my friend, like I'm 29 now, but so I still text my friends don't know what it is yet. So I'm like, yeah, I'm early.
Right.
Like, they don't know.
Exactly. Like everybody I talk to, they're like, what's an NFT? I'm like, oh man, like, well, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting too when more of the sports leagues get into it too, like the NFL. I know UFC is next, I believe.
For sure.
Yeah, pretty dope.
I saw Tom Brady had just started up his own company. I thought that was dope.
Yeah. So a lot of athletes are doing it. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, I guess, over the next few years. So I know you've been doing a lot of interviews, but what's your dream interview? I asked Coach Mosley the same question.
My dream interview?
Yeah, to like get interviewed by. Who would you want to be interviewed by?
The inside the NBA crew.
All right. That's
Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. I've been watching those guys since before I can remember. Like, that one would be dope.
How many interviews have you think you've done so far?
It's probably like in the 20s right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably in the 20s right now.
And then what about what's something people don't know about you?
Something people don't know about me. I make some mean hot wings.
All right. Okay.
Mean hot wings, spicy barbecue.
All right.
Yeah. No, they're fire, bro. They're fire, bro. I'm gonna have to, capitalize on that one day.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and could you let the listeners know where they can follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram at Deshaun. You can follow me on Twitter at 11Deshaun.
Yeah. Wait. How'd you get at Deshaun?
Don't worry about it, man. I don't know.
All right. We'll just keep that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Deshaun,
Again,
soon to be on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Stay tuned for that. But me and Kiara are getting on YouTube soon.
All right. So yeah, appreciate it again, and best of luck next season.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me again.